All over the state, we're seeing the impact of the high winds and what the National Weather Service is calling a particularly dangerous situation, a fire warning today. This video showing the dust and extreme wind is in Firestone. Welcome in to 9 News at 3. Glad to have you here on this Friday. I'm Alexandra Lewis.
I'm Jennifer Meckles. Sam Shocker is off today. That warning is for Boulder and Larimer counties, including the foothills.
Businesses and homes are seeing wind damage, down poles, even the start of a fire. So we're going to get to all of that in just a few minutes. But first, here's a look at some of the power outages that have been on and off for days, for some at least. XL said these would affect customers in Boulder, Clear Creek, Gilpin, Jefferson, Larimer, and Weld counties.
As of the top of this hour, we saw at least 84,000 customers out of power right now, and the power will be shut off for a while, at least through this evening, until the weather dies down first, and the next crews can get out to check all the lines.
Throughout the day, we've had a 9 News weather impact alert. Let's get to our current conditions from our weather impact team senior meteorologist, Chris Bianchi. Chris, even if people aren't feeling the wind around Denver just yet, you say it's still coming.
It's coming for us here in Denver. So we have not seen the worst of the wind in Denver yet. I also want to clarify that here in Denver, we are not going to be talking about the winds that they're seeing in Boulder and the foothills right now. In the foothills, the worst of the wind will be between now and 6 p.m. So let's kind of break this all down for you. So the strongest winds will be in the foothills, Highway 93, Boulder, just outside of, say, Fort Collins in Horsetooth Reservoir, Peach Peak Highway. Worst of the winds next 3-ish hours until just after sunset. Fire danger will be highest this afternoon. In Denver, though, our winds will pick up tonight. What's going to happen is the mountain wave that is causing this breaks down, and that will push all that wind into the I-25 corridor. Here's a look at those top winds so far today. I just updated these a couple minutes ago. Sunshine Canyon, it's about 5 miles outside of Boulder, 110-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Mesa Lab, about 11 this morning, recording 105-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Niwot, just northwest of there, 102-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So this is some real deal wind here, folks. No doubt about that. And again, I know in Denver, we're seeing little spurts of that wind, but we're not seeing that consistent wind yet. We will see it tonight. Berthoud Pass, earlier, 76-mile-an-hour wind gust, still very windy for us in Boulder. So as we head over the next few hours, again, this is 5 o'clock, 2 hours from now. Notice how that wind, mostly still in the foothills, still in the mountains. But then that wind, as we get after dark tonight, pushes down into the metro area, and overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, we'll see those winds rush on in, and they'll stick around into tomorrow, with those winds also turning a bit colder for us as well. But of course, the main concern as we head over the next couple of hours, we have that fire weather warning with that particularly dangerous situation tag for us in the foothills in Boulder, Jefferson, and Larimer counties. Well, more on this and a full look at that forecast coming up here in just a couple of minutes. I want to send things over to my colleague, Jeremy Mahola, who is up in Boulder right now where that wind is really whipping. And Jeremy, I was just talking about this, how we're seeing that kind of come and go nature of that wind. It's not super consistent, but when that wind comes, you feel it, right?
Yeah, things are actually pretty calm for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. It's very, like, you would think this wind is finally dissipating, and then all of a sudden you'll have a pretty strong gust come in. It's pretty brutal, and like you mentioned, you know, we've been seeing wind gusts up here exceeding in this area 80 miles per hour, and when it hits, and when it goes away like it did just now. This morning, we did see the wind start to hit the city, taking down some really old trees, especially around Juniper Avenue and Mapleton and 7th. We saw this happening at 7th and Mapleton, and then on Juniper Avenue, we saw a really large old pine actually hit some utility lines there. And for these folks in these neighborhoods here in Northwest Boulder and around Boulder, power has been out since about 6 o'clock this morning. People are really eager to have their power turned back on. We talked to one couple who has actually been jumping into their vehicle to charge their devices so they can continue receiving text updates from XL telling them when power might go on, and the last check they received was that power might go on at about 10 a.m. There was also a small fire that the Boulder Fire Department did respond to on Euclid Avenue here in Boulder. That was a very brief fire. They put that out pretty quickly. But right here where I'm standing right here on Highway 93 near Highway 170 near the El Dorado Market here, which is closed. This area also has power. They shut down Highway 93 here indefinitely because of these strong wind gusts. And this afternoon, the Boulder County Sheriff's Office actually put out an alert telling people, please don't drive because it's dangerous when you're driving out there. You've got flying debris, you've got trees falling, you've got power lines potentially falling, and then you've got traffic lights, of course, out in the middle of Boulder. So it's quite the day today. People are ready for this to be over. Back to you guys.
All right, Jeremy Hohola, thank you, reporting from Boulder. You see those massive trees down, you recognize just how powerful the winds are. You know, earlier this afternoon, a tree came down on a residential power line, igniting a bit of a small grass fire in Niwot. Mountain View Fire Rescue says they put it out quickly. It did not spread to any bushes or buildings. They also clarified it was a Poudre Valley REA power line, not one by Xcel Energy. Meanwhile, the climbing community in Longmont is trying to decide how to move forward after wind damaged the roof of their gym. You can see right there on your screen, this is at the Longmont Climbing Collective Gym. Management tells us the damage is not covered by insurance.
And this now is a live lookout from DIA. They had a ground stop earlier today. Ultimately, that moved to a ground delay later. All of this thanks to high winds. So far, there have been more than 1,000 delays, more than 40 cancellations today, according to FlightAware. Since 9 o'clock this morning, Highway 93 between Golden and Boulder has been closed, another safety precaution with these extreme winds. The specific closure is at 68th and Arvada and Marshall Road in El Dorado Springs. CDOT says you should expect some delays.